My character is alone in the desert. Hey, welcome back to Writer's Theory. My name is James Winterthorn. This is day 10 of me writing a Western. I'm going to write this novel in less than 90 days and then go straight to, well, not straight to Amazon Kindle Publishing Direct. I will edit and, of course, prepare it for that, but to write this novel, edit it efficiently, and then publish it. So I want to share that journey with you. So welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to wrap up chapter 2. When we last left our character, Mercer, the main character, he had just been shot in the arm, and his writing companion left with the important package that these bounty hunters seem to be after, in addition to Mercer himself. So now he's alone, he's injured, he's going off into hostile territory by himself. So we're going to see what happens here. Let's get into the first part of day 10. Doing a little review here, just getting set up. Really trying to focus on setting here. So since he's by himself, it's hard to, you don't have dialogue to bounce around. So all you really have are descriptions and actions, unless you're going to have the character talk to himself. So really my focus here is like, what is it like to be in the desert? Can I get a real visceral feeling of what this experience would be like for anybody, but especially for my character here, because I want to convey that feeling in a very meaningful way. And you read the stories about people going through the desert and it being almost a mystical experience. And so I did want to bring that into it a little bit, in addition to just it being very challenging and him having to come to some creative solutions to get through this heat and just waterless situation. So still trying to keep the imagery very meaningful and paint a picture here as much as I can, so it's not all just some kind of suffering as we witness somebody go through the desert like this. I also didn't want to make this impossible. This isn't about him being in the desert as much as it is like, what does it take for him to get through this? So, all right, that is the first part of day 10. And again, the effort here is really focused on what is the feeling like. Can I portray an oppressive environment on the character, still have it believable, still have the character struggle but find his way through it, again without the dialogue and a lot of action happening. It's challenging to push through these scenes. You really have to dig deep and wonder, what would this character do? What does it look like? How can I incorporate a little bit of metaphor to flare up the prose a little bit so readers are still engaged? Because you run this risk of over describing and not driving your narrative forward. So if you push that too far and you describe too much, you might lose your reader. They might honestly get bored. So how do you incorporate some more of your plot into the description and the story you're telling here? So let's see how I wrapped up day 10. Get back to this. And so I did use some dialogue. I have him talking to his horse. His horse becomes more and more of a presence in the story. And so I have him talking to her so he can at least, I can break up the prose here and vary it a little bit so there's a little, it's a little more novel to read. And I do, like, you'll see here it's subtle, and I struggle with this in drafts like this. But the point of view changes slightly, where I really want to have even a limited third-person point of view. Every once in a while, I get into what Mercer sees, because I want to share that, but that is not the narrative style that I've chosen for this. So you'll see occasionally that I go back and forth between the two. We'll see if I stick with that or if I go back and try to identify those later and clean them up. My guess is probably not, because that's not what this project isn't meant to create a perfect book, but to get something good, entertaining, and readable in front of readers and people on Amazon. So I may not go back and adjust the point of view. Unless I just really get too far off base, something like that. All right, so here we're in the same chapter. So I know I foreshadowed this earlier. I think when I foreshadowed it, you can see me going back and finding what I said. And then I used it at the end of the chapter. So there was a little cashing in of foreshadowing that happened earlier in this same chapter versus letting that seed, like foreshadow. Think of foreshadowing as like gardening or sowing a seed, and you water it with the content of the story, and it gets sun over time, and then it grows, and then you harvest it later. Well, I pulled it out as it was a sprout, and that's okay. That's okay. Like I said, this isn't meant to be a perfect execution, but I did use what Alvarez had told him earlier in the story, earlier in this chapter, at the end of this chapter, and then stop the chapter here. So I feel good about that. I like ending chapters on a question. Like you get to a sequence of events that lead to something major that's about to happen. In this case, he's confronted by Native American writers. He says the thing he's told to say, and then what happens, right? We end the chapter there. So we continue intrigue about what's going to happen next in the story. And guess what? The next chapter, it's we're going to go back farther in time. So we're still going to wonder what happened after this event here. So good effort. Let me get to the line of the day. The horizon wavered before him, but in a way that the whole of the earth and sky moved. So I feel like this line captures what it's like to be overheated and thirsty and a little out of your mind in the desert, in a way where the heat waves on the horizon give the illusion of, or I guess create their own illusions like you would see in a mirage. And I really wanted to capture that feeling. And I feel like this line does that pretty good. So I did choose it for that. And that is the line of the day. So this is day 10. And tomorrow I'm moving on to chapter 3. Really excited about that. If you want to follow what I'm doing here, make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow. And guess what?